This producer scam could ruin a lot of producers' lives, and I'll show you why. If you download that virus or whatever it is, there's no telling what could happen to you. It could ruin your life. It could destroy all your projects. It could steal your sensitive information. What's going down? It's At Odds with EP Andy. Today we have all three letters right here, all three people behind the letters as well. So I'm happy that the gang is back. Everybody's internet and lighting are looking strong. I know Dame has some updates, some collab for the crown updates, but I want to remind everybody about the free 3 months of premium music distribution. It's not just for rappers and singers. If you're a producer, I'd say get your beats up on all platforms. A lot of people put their beats up on platforms producers do this. I don't do this, but a lot of producers do that as a safeguard so people don't take their beats and content ID them. Dame, explain how they can get 3 free months, no obligation. Your music doesn't get deleted. Premium distribution.
Yeah, all you got to do is use the promo code ATODDS, ATODDS. You'll get free 3 months of music distribution. Also, a couple of two lost updates. The collab for the crown contest is still currently going down. You have until February 5th to get your entries in, and you no longer even need votes. So we made it even easier for you lazy artists to participate and potentially win $20,000 first prize, $8,000 second prize, $5,000 third prize. So get your entries in, especially those of you complaining about not having access to funds and that being the reason why you're not moving. So February 5th, you have for the collab for the crown contest. Also, every Monday, we've been going live at 12 p.m. and I've been bringing guests on, 2 lost office hours, more information, great information, not just myself. I'm bringing guests every single week. Last week, we had Kayvon from Genius. This week, we had a great session with Laylo, a representative from Laylo, if you're not familiar with that platform, but it has a ton of features to help grow your audience and own the communication with your fans. Next week, or actually today, if you're listening to this, we're going to have my guy Eric Abel on, who's a booking agent. We're going to be talking about doing shows in 2024, independent artists and how to do shows. Should you do shows? When you should do shows? What is a booking agent? All that stuff. Join us today. Go to @2lost Instagram and you'll get the information for all of that.
We know there are a lot of scams in the music business. We know a lot of the scams as of late have been targeting producers specifically. I don't know why producers have suddenly become a target, but maybe it's just because we've hit a critical mass where there are so many producers, and because there are so many, there are a lot of producers who are desperate to make money. And so people who are desperate to make money and who don't really know the landscape of their business become basically blood in the water for these scammers. And so I just want to show you very quickly, because this is a scam that I think is a lot more convincing than the other scam. You know, the producer scams where people reach out and say, hey, I'm Dr. Luke, send me $3,000 so I can place you on the new Katy Perry project, Cash App it to me. That's bad enough. I mean, you're stealing money from people, but it's also one of those scams that's obvious. If you fall for that, you're incredibly desperate and you're not using your critical thinking at all. This one is a step above that, and it's, in my opinion, potentially a lot worse, because this producer scam could ruin a lot of producers' lives, and I'll show you why. And that's why I want to talk about it quickly, just as a cautionary tale, so that you don't fall for this. This is the first iteration of this scam. I've gotten 2 different versions of this. It's somebody posing as Derek from Empire Records. Empire Records is obviously a real label. Derek is a real employee of Empire. This email address is not real. And he says he's the senior A&R, VP of A&R, or whatever he says he is. He mentions an artist who's signed to that label. And then he says this is the second one I got. He's attached a simple document that outlines more details about the sessions. He wants me involved as a producer in the session. Now, if you're in the music business, you'll know that it really isn't how things work. Like an A&R just doesn't reach out to you randomly. It's like, I need you for this session. they would want to know other details. They don't even know where I'm from. They're not telling me where the session is, nothing. I know it's not in my city. But a lot of people would get really excited and say, well, at least I want to learn about it. So let's find these documents. Well, why is there a Windows download and a Mac download separately? A document is a document, right? A document is just text. Why can't you just include the bullet points here? Oh, well, they lie and say it's got to be top secret. It's password protected, even though the password is 2024, which is a weak ass password. Well, it's because this is a virus. That's why they, a document, a PDF, a doc file is compatible with both Windows and Mac. They want to make sure viruses are not compatible with both platforms. They want to make sure that you're clicking the right operating system so that you get the right virus to infect your computer. Now I'll show you the first email I got. This one, I think this one's more convincing.
Even look at this email, right? Like,
yeah.
One, they didn't address me by name. Two, I'm gonna put that I'm going to take his address and see if that's an actual website. Three, why are you capitalizing desktop or laptop? Like, there's like so many things already in this that's in. And also, I just want to be, I know going to the other email, but like, scams are running rampant, music industry or not. And when we paint this picture that like, oh, it's just like, oh, the music industry, like I was trying to sell some stuff on Facebook because I'm moving and using Facebook Marketplace, and I got hit with a ton of people that told me, yeah, I sent you the Venmo link. Did you not get it? Check your email, check your spam folder. And like, what? Like, scammers are running rampant like everywhere. But that email has probably 4 or 5 things that maybe if you're super new to things, but a lot of this stuff is common sense. Like,
oh, it's full. I mean, it's full of red flags. It's just that realistically, is a producer who's say 19, 20 really going to say, I don't think the senior VP of A&R would capitalize desktop. Probably not. And then here is, let me share the other one because you might be, this is the newer one. You might be getting this one. Or no, this is the older one. This is the one that almost made me click. I'm not going to lie, because it was just so simple. A lot of times we're looking at emails, we're just scanning through them. We're not fine tooth combing them. The one thing that got me, because this looks like potentially a placement opportunity, or like, hey, someone used your beat, let's just figure this out type of email. It's a Dropbox. I've never gotten an agreement through Dropbox. It's always an attachment, or it's just an initial inquiry. But this part, the Mac required part, why is Mac required to view an agreement? Why is it there to view a document file, a PDF? So my piece of advice for anyone in the music business, it's always been this, if somebody randomly reaches out with a great opportunity for you, it's 99% of the time a scam. And again, people don't want to hear that. They want to believe that something positive is coming their way. They want to believe that that's actually their favorite rapper DMing them on Instagram saying, yeah, your music is fire, let's link up. And the next thing you know, they're asking for money and you're paying it because, yeah, of course, some multi-millionaire rap star needs your $250. Of course. And of course they use Cash App.
The first thing they should do is put that email address into their browser and see where website it goes to. Right? Like that's one of the first things they should do. And then, like I said, it wasn't addressed specifically to you. It looked like you said, I think the first one said hello. The second one just said greetings.
Yep.
The Mac required thing, the random capital letters. And then as a last line of defense, if something is super compelling, that's when your network comes in. Like, that's why I feel like I gotta say I can't be scammed. I'm sure there is, because scammers are getting a lot more, like, they're a lot better than these emails. Like, real scammers are like the effective ones. Like, the homie just got scammed for like 50,000. So they got his his wife was on the Wi-Fi of some hotel. That's different. You know, they kind of hacked into his stuff. But yeah, it's a lot. As a first line of defense, take the email address, put it in your browser, see what website it goes to. If it doesn't even go to Empire's official website, then you already know it's a quick trash. But yeah, have you guys ever gotten, like, in the music industry? Have you ever gotten scammed outside of like scammed for time? Like,
Definitely scammed for time, which is almost as bad, if not as bad, as getting scammed for money, in my opinion.
Yeah, scammed for time is like spending any amount of time on Reverb Nation or like.
No, I mean, like, I'm talking about. I remember it was me, I-20, and Shah in a truck sitting outside of a venue because we had only gotten paid half of what was agreed to on the contract, and we're waiting to get the other half so that we hit the stage, and the show's going on. The place is full of people, and the promoter's just like, yeah, well, we don't have it. Just come in and perform. We got you. And we're just like, no. And it was frustrating because, you know, he had flown all the way from Atlanta. We already paid for the ticket. It was an all-in booking fee. So we had gotten paid enough money to get up there and maybe make a little bit of money so that we're not super devastated, but it was a total waste of time. So to me, that's a scam, and promoters pull that scam all the time. They make you perform, and then at the end of it, they're like, you know what? Now get your money up front. But again, just to let you know, this scam that I just showed you, this might not be a financial scam. If you download that virus or whatever it is, there's no telling what could happen to you. It could ruin your life. It could destroy all your projects. It could steal your sensitive information. It could be a lot worse than just sending $150 to someone for Reverb Nation promo or something stupid like that. So be careful, please.
I've definitely gotten scammed. Almost a similar. I didn't get scammed, but a promoter tried to scam me. Same way, my band has some heat in the city, so he had us open up for somebody else, and I think they were going to only pay us like $100, but we were already selling tickets to our own shows and doing pretty well, probably like $400 or $500 when we would sell our own tickets. So we were like, I was trying to get them more money. So I was like, hey, can we sell tickets to the show and you just give us a cut too? And he was like, yeah, let's do that. So we probably sold about $300 worth of tickets. So now we are owed $400 and something. And same thing, like he had given us a portion of it. I think he gave us the $100 ahead of time. And the show's over. Everybody's packed down their merch. I go to his office. He's not there. It's a 3-part venue. It's the old Masquerade in Atlanta. So I went down to hell. I went down to purgatory. I'm like all around the venue. I don't see him. So I just go sit in my car and I wait. And I'm like, and the guys are like, yo, let's leave. And I'm like, no, y'all are going to stay here with me. 1, because it's a night in Atlanta, but 2, because I'm about to meet a male promoter. I'm like, we're going to get this money. And they were like, man, don't worry about it. We just got stiffed. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, it's not that much money. And he had a really successful show. He can give us the other 300 and something. So we sat out there probably for like an hour. And then he came out because it's the only car left in the parking lot. It felt like like they have those scenes in Atlanta. I've lived so many of those scenes where the promoter's trying to be shiesty. And he was like, I couldn't find you. I didn't know where you were. And I'm like, dude, I was the last person in the venue with the band. And so he was like, let's just go back up to my office and get it. So we all follow him back up into his office, and it's cash. So it would have been a situation to where if we didn't claim it, he probably would have just pocketed it. And I don't think the dude is shiesty because we had worked with him before and worked with him after. But I think he probably just thought, like, local bands, nobody's doing their business well. That was probably just a little extra income for him regularly where he would just pocket that money. And I was like, nah, don't try to play me. And after that, every time we worked together, there was never an issue. But I waited. We were out there till like 1 o'clock in the morning, just sitting in the parking lot on a Thursday waiting for homie to come out.
No, you got to set the tone. In those situations, if you let them play you once, they will play you again and again and again and again.
I guess one quick story, like super early days, like before we were really making money or anything, like the guys had like my brother at Hobson had like a really good live show that stood out. If you were to put them on a showcase and other rappers were on there, they would clearly stand out from the crowd. So I would always try to find like local showcases that they could win money because they typically would win. It would be easy. We went to this one in Pasadena, and again, same thing. They stood out. Crowd was much more responsive to their show than anybody. It was clear that they were the best ones, and they didn't win. And we were like, "What the hell is going on?" They're like, "Whatever, let's leave." And when we left, we saw like the winner of that showcase like get into the limo with the promoter. And we knew it was all bad because it wasn't even the type of venue that any limo should be pulling up to. It was just cats that were trying to, feel good about themselves. So I think we probably paid a little bit to be on that showcase, but that definitely felt scammy because the person that won definitely shouldn't have won. If we didn't win, then there were like 3 other groups that should have won for sure.
No, we did get scammed by a showcase. And Boys in the Hood were there. They weren't part of the scam. They were just there. So I was there with Jody Breeze and oh God, what was the tall dude? Erinn, I need your Atlanta knowledge. Who's the tall dude from Boys in the Hood?
I don't even know. I'm gonna be honest. I never knew any of the individual names of like Ghetto Boys. None of them dudes. Like, sorry.
You don't know any of the individual names of the Ghetto Boys? Or is there a different Ghetto Boys in Atlanta than the Ghetto Boys?
No,
it was Big Duke.
Like,
Big Duke. My bad. Big Duke. Big Duke.
Say it, I'll remember it, but I don't.
Bushwick Bill.
Yeah.
Willie D.
Yeah, Willie D. Yeah.
Scarface.
A solid dude. Yeah. See, there we go. Okay.
Well, Willie D's blowing up now with his podcast. He just did the Cat Williams. It was kind of hilarious. So he's out there.
Okay, I low-key got scammed on a showcase too. I forgot about this. So the showcase, same thing. I used to do the same thing, Dame. As soon as you said that, I thought about it because the band I used to manage, it was like the lead singer was a black dude. He sounded like I won't say like Michael Jackson, but very soulful, but he had a really high range. He was training in school to be an opera singer, so he could do almost anything. And then the band was just like a rock band, so we would call it rock and soul. So we would kill, whether it was an R&B showcase or a rock thing. And there was this one showcase in Atlanta that lasted for like 6 weeks. You basically had to come back. If you won that night, you'd come back and perform. In hindsight, I'm realizing that person was just a promoter and they were filling the space with talented bands for free and pocketing the money from the venue. Now that my eyes and I'm like, why did it last so long? And you would have to submit to perform. And then I think it was like $20 to submit, nothing expensive. And then he would choose the best and he'd let 4 people perform each week. And then the best would come back. So we did it and they said up to $10,000 worth of prizes. And that was one of the ones where it's like, you get studio time, you get your single mix by this person, whatever. Ends up, we go through it, same situation, second to last. We don't win it the first time. And I'm like, damn, the band that won it, I felt like wasn't that dynamic, but I couldn't say they weren't good. They just weren't as good as we were. So I was like, okay, whatever. Come to find out, they were like friends with the studio owner, and it was like they had to win it so the studio owner would pitch in like the prize pack. So then we did it again because at this point I'm just an eager man. I'm like, well, we were second to last time, and I think they gave us like $200 or something. So we did it all over again like 6 months later. We get through, we win it. It's a shit show. The studio time is really just like one day in a janky studio. I don't think we got the mix and mastering session. Whatever the cash prize was, it never actually really it was like we ended up with $500 out of a $10,000 pot. I think we were supposed to end up with $5,000. You know what I'm saying? And then other things. So if you consider that a scam, then we kind of got scammed that way. But we did in that process really hone our chops, and a lot of industry people started coming through the space, and we ended up with other opportunities because they kept getting seen. But yeah, that was kind of a scam as well.
What I want people to know is like all the stuff that we did back then to really try to get to the next level. And now I'm offering you $20,000 in a collab for a crown, like 20,000 actual dollars. You can take and do whatever you want with, and not only $20,000, but the opportunity to get in front of T-Pain. He's gonna listen to your music, even if you're a finalist. He's gonna listen to your entry at least, you know. So there's a possibility of piquing his interest. I gotta bring this back because we did so much stuff to try to get to the next level, and now I'm like begging you to get your chance at a 20. Like it's so wild to me that, like, you know, just kind of the lazy, and I felt like artists were lazy back then, but like today I feel like it's on a whole nother level.
In your house, you could literally do this joint in your house, and all it requires is the song and a video for Instagram. You don't even have to shoot a real. Some people shot real music videos, which I thought was super tight.
As you said, yeah. You should put your best foot forward, because other people are like, don't just enter just to be like, all right, I did it. That's like that, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I had to bring it back to that because it just reminded me of like all the stuff that we did, man. We put in so much work, and what I see artists doing now is just like, do you really, like, what do you expect? Where do you expect this? What do you expect this to do? Like, anyway, we can move on. Erinn, I know you got a good topic today.
Yeah, so I searched Twitter to really see where people's thoughts and ideas are. And I really feel like I'm constantly floored. I do feel like the music community is evolving as far as wisdom goes. And I would like to believe that we're a part of that, but also the renaissance, well, not even renaissance, the new adage of so many music business podcasts that actually give real information. You know, I think that there's some people doing a great job with that. So I feel like our community is growing for the people who want to grow. You know, we can shout out a handful because they're in the Two Lost Village, but like the God Show, No Labels Allowed, I think they're both doing a really great job, but there's several doing a great job. So shout out to them.
No labels necessary.
Oh, No Labels Necessary. Sorry, not No Labels Allowed. Shout out to fellow ATLians.